Hi, welcome to Meet the Candidate. My name is Rebecca Blunt and I'm here today with Alan Thomas, who's a candidate for the mayor of the city of Greenville. I know many of you are watching today hoping to learn more about Alan and why he is running for office, and we hope in the next 30 minutes or so we'll be able to answer some of those questions for you. Hello Alan, how are you today?
Hello Rebecca, thank you for having me. Thank you.
We're glad you could be here. Let's just start off by introducing yourself to everybody and telling us a little bit about you.
Well, I lived in Greenville most of my life, on and off. I'm a 42-year-old father of two little girls, which keep me very busy. My wife is Janet Stubbs Thomas. My 6-year-old goes to first grade at Wintergreen, and my 3-year-old is at Covenant Church preschool, and that's my family background. But from Greenville, and I'm a business owner in the city. I own a medical technology company called IQ Max. And myself and a fellow ECU graduate started this company back in the 90s. And literally in my extra bedroom, we started this company. And we built it from very humble beginnings to now having over 154 hospitals as our clients in 3 countries and 36 states. And we process about 15 million patient records a day through this company.
Wow.
So that's a little bit about my business background. And I went to East Carolina University back in the 90s and was student body president. And that was my first experience with government here in Greenville. Actually, I was the student liaison as student body president and worked with Nancy Jenkins, who was the mayor here, and really enjoyed that. And went on to law school at North Carolina Central for a period before going to work for Jim Hunt, and went and finished my MBA at UNC Chapel Hill.
You said you went to work for Governor Hunt. What did you do for Governor Hunt?
Well, when I took the position with Governor Hunt, it was kind of a challenge because I was in law school, but I felt compelled to try to have an opportunity to go out and get some good work experience before I was going to go back and finish school. I had a great experience in North Carolina Central in law school, and the plan was to go back, but life takes you in different directions. Governor Jim Hunt invited me to come in and interview and work on potentially on the enterprise group in recruiting business and industry for the state of North Carolina. And I worked with international clients and various elements of business, recruiting from other states, so I learned what the matrix were, what different companies look for when they want to find a potential home here in North Carolina. And there's a lot of things we sold working with commerce, you know, presenting North Carolina to these clients. And a big part of that were some of the underlying costs, utilities costs, other rates, the type of education you also had in your community, from the community college ranks, the support, quite frankly, of the local government, city government and county government. How supportive were they to bring able to be aggressively to go work and bring jobs into their community?
And how long did you work for Governor Hunt?
I worked for Hunt for about 6 years.
And then you went back and got your business degree?
I did. I went back and got my master's in business at UNC Chapel Hill. And then that's when I started the company IQ Max, which I mentioned a little earlier. And I also have a broker's license in real estate and also insurance as well. And we like to, my brother and I actually, with a friend who is also in construction, we like to build a few homes. So we've always kept 7 or 8 homes kind of in process. So that's been really good. Obviously, I know a lot about a budget. I know a lot about meeting payroll. I know a lot about, in tight times, having to be able to make things work. And over the past several years, as everybody out there has had to experience, we've dealt with economic hard times. And as a business owner, I know firsthand what it's like to have to make tough decisions and make tough adjustments to be able to make your business grow in these times and adjust what you do.
After you finished your business degree, then is that when you moved back here to Greenville?
Yes.
Okay, and you've moved back here, and tell me, I know you've been involved with some efforts with the university and the Heart Institute. Tell me a little bit about that. Well,
when I was considering moving back here, we had already started the company IQ Max, I think I mentioned to you, with Paul Atkinson, who's my co-founder in the company. And at that point, a lot of interesting things were happening here in Greenville, and I'll be quite honest with you, I was ready to come back home. Greenville's my home. I wanted to be near my family, and I told Paul we're going to stay in strategically, but I'm going to make my point of operation to be here in Greenville, North Carolina. And so we did, and at that time there was a big push in the North Carolina State Legislature by our folks here in the East to try to bring a heart hospital to Greenville. And we had failed previously. We tried a couple of times and were not able to galvanize enough support from the legislature and the governor to make that happen. We're always competing, just like when we built the medical school initially, there's always underlying issues at play. I mean, we have our good friends in Chapel Hill and other parts of the state, but on issues like this, sometimes there can be a challenge. So I have, at this point, over 20+ years of working with government officials. I know how to work through the maze of issues on the state level and also on the federal level, working with G.K. Butterfield and Burr and some of the others. But what I did is I was brought on contract by the Chancellor of East Carolina and the Board of Trustees, and they hired me really to help spearhead our effort working to get the funding for the heart hospital here in Greenville. And my area of expertise is marketing and business operations. And we were able to devise a campaign called Purple Alert, which you may have heard of and others in Greenville. And with Purple Alert, what we did is we found a way to electronically, through text, phone, email, and internet, to connect thousands of ECU alumni across the state. And that's what we did. So as a vote was coming up on the Senate side or on the House side, I was able to connect instantly, saying, okay, House Bill 21 is about to be debated in this committee. And there are these 8 senators or House members that are in this committee. I could immediately, through direction of the Board of Trustees and ECU, to get contact with these wonderful ECU alumni across the state who are our teachers, our law enforcement, our attorneys. And they really have played a major role in putting pressure, saying, look, we live in your local communities, but we love East Carolina University, we love Greenville, and we want a heart hospital in this city. And so Purple Alert was really my first getting back into community engagement. It really energized me to do more with the city.
Well, and you know, that brings me to my next question. You're obviously busy, you're a business owner, you have a family with young children. Why did you decide to run for mayor of Greenville?
Well, I have served, after the Purple Alert opportunity, Beth Ward and some others on the Board of Commissioners here in Pitt County asked me if I would be interested in serving on some boards here with the city. And I agreed. I thought it was a good opportunity to get engaged with the city and help a community become more dynamic, one that I love. So I was appointed to the Board of Adjustment, which was a great experience. Really enjoyed that. And we worked a lot with special use permits and different business owners across the city, and really helping to properly steward the development of the city in those regards. Then the opportunity came up to be on planning and zoning with city government. And the appointment was made, so came on working with planning and zoning. And the job of planning and zoning is really to work the comprehensive plan for the city of Greenville. It was something that our city leaders did 20 years, well, I guess 15 years ago, to plan the layout of the city. You know, we're not a one-horse town anymore by any means. Greenville is a beautiful, growing, dynamic city. So with a comprehensive land use plan, you can have different areas of development and properly spread growth around the city and create commercial nodes of development in different parts of the city. I was elected chairman by my fellow members of the Planning and Zoning to head that up, and also spearheaded that approach to lay out planning for the city. From that experience, I got to see the good and the bad, I'll be quite honest with you, with how city government works. And also some things that people don't realize that goes on. We have a wonderful staff here in Greenville, and we have great city employees, so it's not just a job for them. This is where they raise their children, it's where they've been born, their parents have been born, where their families are. And we try so hard here to do good things. But I'll be quite honest with you, the reason I'm running is I'm concerned about the future of Greenville. And that was part of my decision to run for mayor. We have difficult economic times in our forefront here in Greenville. And we have to continue to adjust our plans here in Greenville to be able to recognize that if the city of Greenville is going to go, we can't just depend on ECU anymore or university health systems anymore. We have to take an aggressive stance, the same one that Wilmington has taken, and Rocky Mount has taken, and Jacksonville, and we have to be more dynamic. We can't just be a representative type government that sits back and waits for opportunities to come here. And I thought with my business experience and experience for over 20 years of working in government on the state and on the federal level, that in these times my skill set best suits what we need here in the city. You know, I'm a 42-year-old father of 2. And I want my future for my kids in this city to be as good as it was for me. And quite frankly, that's why I decided to run for mayor. And with Bryant Kittrell leaving the council and great leaders like Don Parrott, who have done so many good things for us in the past, I talked to them and asked for their counsel on this. And be quite honest, Don Parrott had a lot to do with me wanting to run for this office. I respect the great job that he did, and I want to help usher forward, you know, the opportunities here in Greenville. It's not as much about who is mayor now; it's about our future in Greenville, and it's time to turn the page and use skill sets that we can move Greenville forward to meet these challenges that we're going to be facing, because we face major challenges here. And you mentioned former Mayor Parrott. I noticed this weekend that he has endorsed you in your run for yes.
Office, and how do you feel about that?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty humbling for me because that guy has an enormous shadow. And all I can say is I think no one knows where we are as a city more than someone who has sat here as a mayor previously. And Don did a wonderful job. He had great relationships. He stretched his boundaries beyond the city limits. He did a good job. We want to obviously have great relationships in our community, in West Greenville, north of the river, all of our neighborhoods across the city, representing every citizen. And John did a really good job at that. But he also understood that, hey, we got to go out and grow this city and grow opportunities here. And Don said, quite frankly, that it's time to turn the page in Greenville. We need energy. We need new leadership. And he said, I'm going to step out here and endorse you because I think that you bring the skill set. And I hope you inspire other people in your 40 and 50-year-old age range that are in business to come back and just say, I know I'm very busy. These are tough economic times, but this is our community. We have to step up and try to help grow Greenville.
Alan, I've taken some time and looked at your website, which is electalanthomas.com, and you've laid out your platform here, and I'd just like to go through some of the focuses on your website. First, on your website, you talk about jobs and growth. Can you tell me what you plan to do as mayor and what you mean when you want to grow Greenville?
Well, the core of this is I want to go back to my training in recruiting business and industry for the state of North Carolina and some of my relationships on the state level and also on the federal level. What I have found in researching when I made the decision to run for office that while other communities across the state have a dedicated resource to go out and recruit business and industry, Greenville does not, for whatever reason. Wanda does a great job with the county development office, but
and who's Wanda?
Wanda runs the business and development for the county.
Okay.
Along with her staff, they do a wonderful job promoting our industrial park, which is on the outlying areas of Pitt County, and but we have no resource here in the city specific to recruit opportunities, whether it's a software company, whether it's other forms of business that's not necessarily just for an industrial park area. We need to bring living wage jobs here to Greenville. And I want to use my background and experience to go out and get in front and work with commerce. Because here's what I know about our situation now. There are limited jobs in this economy. And if you aren't on the playing field, those jobs aren't going to filter to Greenville. We can't sit back. Unfortunately, the past several years, we have sat back and we have not engaged with these companies that are looking to locate. We have wonderful things to sell here. Greenville Utilities is a wonderful company providing support. Pitt Community College does a great job providing training. East Carolina has a wonderful research area in so many areas. And we're only an hour plus away from the Triangle Park now. Why can't we recruit for those same jobs? I personally will aggressively go to Raleigh and to Washington, D.C., along with a staff resource which we're going to dedicate with myself as mayor, and make that a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week job to bring living wage jobs to Greenville. And not just white-collar jobs, which we need, obviously, to grow our arts and bring more base of income to the city. But quite honestly, we have an underpinning of the city of people who are really desperate right now. We see crime as a big problem in this city, and poverty, and lack of education. The one thing we can do to help families stay together and look after our people is to help bring living wage jobs to the city. And those jobs are out there, but right now we are not competing. Wilmington is getting those jobs, even Kinston, Jacksonville. They're aggressively going after these jobs, which are for the underpinning of our city. And if I have anything to do with it at mayor, that's going to be my #1 priority, is to go and bring these opportunities in Greenville and at least get us on the playing field and give us a shot.
Talking about jobs and industry in Greenville, one thing that you've talked about on your website is launching a Buy Greenville campaign. What do you mean by that?
Well, Buy Greenville to me is I would like to push an initiative here, a public-private partnership, and work with Suzanne Sartell and the Chamber of Commerce, as well as our business folks to, any opportunity you have, buy Greenville, whether it's a supply or whether it's a certain commodity that you could probably get maybe a little bit of a better price, maybe overseas. But what I want to do is create a climate here where we're going to take care of our own in Greenville. We're not just going to complain about the economy and loss of jobs and loss of tax base. We got to get creative. Just like my guys did when we started IQ Max. We've got to get innovative and be entrepreneurs here in Greenville. And I want to see us holding hands and working together across the city with the Chamber of Commerce, Committee of 100, and all our different business leaders, and even ECU, and even as a city, everything we can by Greenville. I want to push that as a major initiative to try to keep that multiplier effect of spending $1, make that dollar spin around in our community and create jobs.
You talked earlier about the issue of crime in our community. Tell me what your stance is on the issues related to crime in Greenville.
You know, crime is a very complicated topic, and I think we've heard a lot of different perspectives on what we should do for crime, and I think a lot of it, quite frankly, has been reactionary. I have a brother who's